Okay, so I was explaining that raw footage, these are your direct videos from the camera. Okay, so direct from camera is raw. So usually they contain mistakes. So imagine you're taking an interview. There's going to be times when the person you are interviewing makes a mistake and all that. You need to cut that off, right? So if this is the full length of video, you end up slicing it into pieces and deleting sections of it. So that's the basic core of video editing. You're cutting because you don't want, you're trying to remove unwanted sections, poor pacing, right? So too many breaks, too many slow talk. You want to cut it off and keep your viewers engaged and have a narrative and have a structure. So that's why video editing. Now, these are, so this is me in the set of Professor Lee 2, I believe. Yeah, Professor Lee 2 and working with the Windows. So I've actually been privileged to work with them in shooting and editing most of the movies. Now, I personally don't enjoy the stress of being on set, right? Because on set is another thing. Like you spend hours setting up lights, you spend hours trying to get several takes from several angles, and usually it's sleepless nights upon sleepless nights. I prefer the post-production part, which is what this class is about, the editing part. So that is why I don't really spend so much time on set. So before we go into the actual main thing we're going to do in this class is we're actually going to talk about media files, okay? Because the first thing you need to understand is you need to understand your video. What makes up a video? You need to understand video codecs and all that, resolution of video, aspect ratio. And even if you already understand it, you know that the social media space is changing. So what was popular before is no longer really it. For example, 16 by 9, that is the standard aspect ratio before. Well, it still is the standard aspect ratio for HD, which is 1920 by 1080. It is gradually becoming not so interesting. So people prefer widescreen and reels and all that. So not even 16 by 9 anymore. So we need to look at aspect ratio, resolution, bit rate, and all that about video. But in this class, we are going to spend more time on media files as an introduction so that, by the way, you can take the assignment up front. The assignment for this class is going to be you are going to gather media files and begin to have your own collection because as a video editor, you need to have your collection of files. Just imagine a graphic designer that doesn't have icons, pictures, and logos and stuff that we use to create their designs. You will not be effective at what you do. So, as a video editor, you need to also have your media files, have them in a flash drive, have them in a folder, something you can use. And also, whenever you meet a fellow video editor, you collect stuff from them too. So, that would be that would be our emphasis for today's class. But let's take a look at this section. Why edit video? Because when you're taking an online course like this, you may not really, you may just want us to go straight to the point, but it's a 6 week course, so there's really no need for us to jump right into course when we can take a minute or two to understand the reason behind what we are doing. Because we may have even approached this class with the wrong mindset. So maybe you join this class because everybody's doing video. You also want to do video. Um, everybody's a content creator, and you also want to be a content creator. but you are forgetting that you don't even know why. Right? So why is video editing important and why should you take it seriously? Because this is some people's career, this is some people's life work. So let's see some of the reasons. The first reason why we need to edit a video and not just shoot and upload is for storytelling, right? So imagine creating a 1 hour, 30 minutes movie. There have to be a story, there have to be a plot, there have to be an arc, all the elements that make for a story, right? There have to be tension and all that. Why do you keep unmuting yourself, Faith? There have to be tension, there have to be a lot of things that make for a good video edit. So storytelling is shaping the narrative, controlling the flow of information. When you're on set of a video production, you will notice that most directors do not shoot in sequence, right? That's sequential shooting now, let's call it that. Which means if you are on a set, maybe a hospital scene, you're on a hospital set, right? And you want to you have your cinematographer and all that, lighting and all that. You're not going to shoot. So in your movie now, right? Maybe you visit the hospital in scene 1. Okay, there's a hospital scene here. Then later in scene 8, there's another hospital scene here. You're not going to shoot the hospital scene here and keep shooting other parts of the movie and then come back to the scene later to shoot scene 8. That's sequential shooting. You don't do that in a huge project. So the person shooting is actually going to shoot randomly, not very randomly, but like without following the order. So if I have a hospital set in front of me, I will take all the scenes I need to take for the hospital, whether or not it's scene 1, scene 9, scene 10, all through the movie. I'll make sure I get all the hospital takes. Faith, are you mistakenly unmuting your mic or do you have a question? So that is what I mean. A video editor is now responsible to take all that was shot in a scattered way and tell a good story out of it. So that's what storytelling is about. So that means the video editor needs to know the story, know the sequence of the story, so that they will know how to edit and cut the right information. So pacing and rhythm is another thing about video editing. Think about music, right? Think about music and how it controls your emotions. And a fast-paced music will almost want to make your heart beat faster, right? A calm music will make you want to sleep and fall asleep. That's like rhythm, that's pacing. So same thing with video editing, right? So you can create the desired tempo, you can create the emotional impact, right? By controlling the length of shots and the transition between them. Okay, I'm thinking of a good movie to use for this. There are several movies out there, but one particular one is in my mind. If I remember, I'll bring it up. So in that movie, in the first few seconds of the shot, there was like a montage, right? So you've seen it in many movies, even like the Rocky movies. You have a scene where there's like a montage and everything is happening so fast. Well, imagine the whole movie was a montage. It will not make any sense. So let's say they want to show Rocky training, so like a training sequence. So it's training day 1, day 2, week 1, week 2. That's video editing. That's pacing. So they are trying to compress a long, a lot of work, trying to compress a lot of work into a few minutes of the clip just to tell a story, right? So video editing can control the desired tempo. And then if you want to make a scene more emotional, maybe like a dance, the first dance, you don't want to cut that so much. You just want to let it flow in its own natural pace. I'm sure you've watched a lot of Hollywood movies of then when you would be so tired on why are we spending 15 minutes in this particular bar scene and all they are doing is dancing, right? So that's poor pacing. So a good video editor needs to understand pacing and rhythm. Okay. Removing mistakes is very easy, right? This is like the first thing you want to do in video editing. Someone mispronounces something, there is a stutter, there is an error somewhere, you want to cut those out first. So usually in interviews, you get this a lot. So maybe the person begins to laugh and you're like, okay, cuts, right? So those cuts, those laughters that you don't need in your stuff, that's the first thing you want to remove in your video editing, right? Out of focus shots. So there may be some shots that are maybe shaky camera. Maybe you did not use a gimbal, and there's a particular section of the shot that just shakes too much. You want to cut those parts out. Another purpose for video editing is to control. This is for consciousness. This is for keeping your viewers engaged, right? The TikTok generation has really shaped this, where we are told that the attention span of a the attention span of a normal person right now is very low, right? So you see 1 minute videos, 30 seconds videos, and they just go straight to the point, keeping you engaged, keeping you glued to your screen. So a very good video editor takes advantage of how do I retain people's consciousness for a long period of time with my edits, right? Enhancement, very important. If you shoot a video, when you shoot a video, by default, it's going to be flat. It's going to be, when I say flat, it's not going to have so much um, interest in it because you don't have graphics, you don't have visual effects, you've not done some colors, you've not added titles, you've not added background music. So video editing now helps you to gather all these things to your video and you have a more interesting video. Okay, so imagine you make a video, someone walks to the door, opens the refrigerator door, grabs um, a can of Coke and opens the Coke, right? Imagine there was no sound. Compare that with as the person is walking, you add footsteps, right? They open the door. As the door opens, you add the sound of a door creaking and opening. Then you open the drink, right? You add the sound of that refreshing gas that comes out of a drink. You add that to your video. The video editor has enhanced that scene so much that it makes it more interesting. Like you want to if you're thirsty just by watching that. So of course, last the structure, right? So there needs to be like a logic and a compelling sequence to your video. Otherwise, if it doesn't have any structure, there's no story, and what is the point? So, like I said, um, this part is where our focus for today will be. These elements that these elements of media files that are needed in video editing. So we're going to walk through the different media files we have, where to get them, and why you should get them. So I'm going to share another screen that has okay. So I'm just going to list out a few of them first. Let's go to the next page of my slide. So the next page of my slide is the digital workflow. This is where we are staying. This course is on video editing, so we're actually in the post-production stage. We're not going to be talking about planning, which includes your storyboarding, having your short list and all that. That's for a movie production course. We're not going to do that. We're not going to be talking about shooting. We're not going to do that, which involves the camera. But when you are editing, you need to know something about shooting and planning, right? Because we said that the story is important. I mentioned how that when shooting, many times you shoot several things at several times, but when you are editing, you don't edit in sequence. So a little bit will be dropping knowledge and information about planning, about production, but what we are actually here to learn is the post-production, which is the editing majorly. So this picture was actually from a particular shoot at I think it was a Christmas ad that was being created here. So this was the set design, and this is actually the view from a Blackmagic 6K camera. Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 6K. That's what it's called. So, like I said, in video editing, you need to have a few information about some cameras, but you don't necessarily have to have them. Now, this is where we will take a pause, which is in these media files that we are going to be getting. We are going to organize them. So I'm going to show us where we can, okay, I'm done with this slide. To show us where we can get these media files. All right. So let me share another screen. All right, are we following so far? Any questions so far? So good. If you have any question, you can ask. Okay. So far, so good. If you have any question for me, please, you can go ahead and ask. Then.
Hello, good evening, boss.
Good evening. Sounds like Zionite.
Yeah, it's Zionite. Well done,
Okay.
son. And me to everyone on the class. Okay,
Okay. Good
boss,
evening.
is uh like I just want to like let's say, for example, using the Windows movie standard, their video editing standard, let's say 1 hour, 30 minutes video. Like how long does it take you to edit?
Okay. That's a good question. How long will a 1 hour, 30 minute movie take you to edit? This it's generally it take you weeks and months, generally. But it doesn't have to. It doesn't have to. If you have assistance, it may take you a few days. So this is why now we're talking about gathering media files. If you need to start shooting every single thing by yourself, start getting every single thing by yourself, then it will take longer. But if you have all these resources already from your sounds, from your titles, and you just have to drag and drop, then a 1 hour, 30 minutes project, depending on how complex, say there's no VFX needed, it can be done within a week. You can be done within a week. So I don't think there is any defined timeline as to this is how long it should take. No, there is no. It can be faster, it can be slower. So usually, what makes the difference is your experience as an editor. how long you have been edited, and how quickly you can actually gather these things. So that's how I feel. Because, okay, using myself as an example, let me show you a project that I worked on. And honestly, that was like my first time editing a video from start to finish, like a movie length, a full movie length video, right? From start to finish. So this is a project I worked on. I don't know if the sound is being added to this.
Yes.
Avila,
Avila,
Avila, why are you sleeping during
the
prayers?
meaning of this now.
What is wrong with you?
Only please let us. After prayer, we'll handle it.
Okay, let's pray. Father, in Jesus' name, Lord, we thank you for today.
Now, this
Thank you
was not
for the
even
gift
1 hour
of life.
testimony. This was just
Daddy,
40
please
minutes long.
accept our thanksgiving in Jesus'
But
name.
this took weeks to
Lord,
edit.
as we go out, go with us in Jesus' name. Thank
Okay.
you, everlasting Father, for in
Because
Jesus'
there
mighty
was, I did
name
not
we have
delegate
prayed.
anything from the
Praise the
shooting
Lord.
to the
Good morning,
lighting
everybody.
to the
Good
sound
morning.
to the background
Good
music.
morning there. Good morning. How
We had
was
to
your
do
night?
everything. We did
Okay,
not
let's
even
pray.
add
Let me do
captions. We
rejoice.
wanted to add captions to take you another couple of
Okay.
days to
Make sure you
add subtitle and
wash that plate.
captions to
Avila, come and sit down, please.
a production like this.
Sit down, my dear.
Can you guys hear the sound
Avila, my
coming from
daughter,
the?
you have to be patient
Yes,
with us.
I can hear this answer.
You are old enough to see the situation of this family.
So when you're
Me and your
editing, you now
mother,
realize
we
that
are unable.
getting the right background music to
Avila,
communicate the right
my daughter,
emotion
you are beautiful, just like
is
your mother
important.
is. And don't let those boys deceive you.
Then some other things that could also slow down your editing that I noticed too is how well it was shot. Like if something was shot well, editing will be faster. Let's take for example, the sound did not synchronize well, right? It will take you some couple of days to synchronize sound because usually in editing, if you don't know, most of the time you'll be giving your video separate from your audio, right? If it's not well labeled, so that's talking about organization now, because I think that's where we are going to now. Organization, your media files, and all that. Imagine you did not properly organize these files. So the labels are wrong. So let's say scene one video, and then the audio file just had numbers 2, 3, 4, A, B. How would you know that that's scene one? So imagine now going to all your audios and start playing them, try to listen. You understand? So the inefficiency in shooting can slow down your edit like 10 times. So this was even a little bit easier because I tried to make sure, okay, if my video file, because most times your video file can have several names. If it's Black Magic or whatever, like my Canon now can give me video file like C40025, right? That can be the video name. So when I record the audio separately on another recording device, like those H5, they're different recording devices. You want to rename the audio for that video and add this number so that by the time you want to synchronize, you just know the audio and video to add together. And then you now use your auto synchronization feature in your softwares. And of course, this also works if there is some sound in the video because it synchronizes based on waveform. We'll probably get there in another lesson. So, but basically, auto synchronization works based on waveform. That means it checks the waveform on your audio and matches it with the waveform on your video. That way, it will synchronize the audio and the video perfectly. If that doesn't work, what we do is we clap, right? So you want to go front of the camera and have like so you want to clap in front of the camera. There is also this clapper thing that they use in production that is also pretty. It's not just for fancy. It's also very important. So usually what they do is they hold it, they write the scene one, take two, right? I'm sure you've seen it in major movies. And the person goes front of the camera, shouts it, scene one, take two, action, and then they clap it. So that's like a professional way of doing the clap. So it will also help the audio to synchronize well with the video. So those are the little things that can make your editing faster if all these rules were followed, right? So the person shooting was conscious about this editing will be difficult if I don't organize this thing well. So let me shoot properly so that the editor will not stress themselves. Okay, so after you have your video and audio synchronized, you have your different camera angles, they are synchronized. Editing is smooth, right? There's something called multicam editing. It will actually give you all the layers of the video and mesh it together so that it's just to be pushing some numbers and you'll be switching the different camera angles while editing. Like, can be very easy and very fast. So it's relative. That's just my answer to that question. Yeah. Editing takes different time depending on how well the shooting was done. Okay. So let us now move on. By the way, Zionite was in the physical class, so the section we're entering now will probably not be new to him. Okay. So all this editing was all right. So many of us are not going to be editing movies anyway. Maybe editing for your social media platform. So just don't think that we're just going to focus on movies and all. No, we are going to make sure this class is as universal as possible to help you in whatever field you are in. So some helpful resources that we're going to be getting. We're going to get stuff from YouTube Audio Library. And I think this is a good point to talk about copyright issues that you might encounter when video editing. So, all right. So I want us to check out some of these. Let me just present my screen so you see it. Okay, any question? I can see a question in the comments. Okay, so getting helpful resources. Faith says she's having difficulty hearing. Can the rest of us hear me?
Loud. I can hear you very loud.
Very loud,
I hear
okay.
you very loud.
All right. So let's take a look at some of these platforms where we can get helpful resources. Now, the first problem in getting resources is copyright problem. So don't say, oh, I love this new Davido music. I'm going to add it to my film. If you add Davido music to your film, just know that that film is not going to go far. It will be taken down, it will be deleted, it will be flagged for copyright claim. So how do you avoid being flagged? You want to avoid music that you don't have the rights to use. So take for example, in the current Professor Odin movie, Lawrence Oyor was featured, right? Hope I can spell Lawrence Oyor. And he sang his song Favor in one of the scenes. But it was like just to avoid copyright issues, he had to go to a studio to resync Favor in another way, like with a different production, so that they can conveniently use it in the movie without being flagged. So, so even the original artists, if they want to use their own content somewhere else, the should I say the process it takes to get license to use something is not very worth it. Like it can affect your monetization and all that, especially for a major project that you know is going to make so much money. You don't want to have copyright claim to just make all your investment go to zero. So it's very important that you are thinking about copyright. That means you want to use what we call copyright free content. And there are some platforms that give you that, like pixel.com. All they ask for is a little attribution. So just put it in your comments that, oh, you got this from this, it was created by this person, right? Just leave some attributes to the creator, and that's all. YouTube Audio Library is also a good place to find sounds, instrumentals, VFX, and all that for free. That sound effects that you have claim to. Advanced is another place too, but here is paid, right? So this is free, and this is paid. So if you have what you can do, if you have anybody that has advanced, if you don't want to pay for it, it allows you once you pay for like a month, you can download as many as you want. So I don't think there's a limit to how much you can download. But I think it's $16 per month for advanced subscription. But here you literally have everything from pictures to videos to sounds to templates, everything. So 11 Labs is AI. So in the course of this class, I'd like us to talk a little bit more about some AI tools, right? So 11 Labs is actually an AI tool that is good for voiceover. So it gives you very realistic voiceover from text. So let's say you want to make a complete video that you do not want to use your own voice. 11 Labs will help you there. It also has a subscription, but the free part also works. So you can also use it for free without subscription. So let's go to this website instead of just talking about them. Let's go over to pixel.com first.
Hi, Osaretin. I raised my hand. Good evening.
Oh, you did? Okay, good evening. Hello.
Hi. So,
Hi.
a quick question about this copyright thing.
Okay.
Especially, I don't really understand this when it has to do with. I know you're speaking from the movie perspective, right? But
Okay.
for content creation, it's almost
Okay.
random. Like people just use music in their content and
Yeah.
in their reels and all of that. Does that apply? Does it affect anything?
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So that's a good question because even me, I'm still studying about how those reels work. So, beginning TikTok actually made this reels thing a big deal. So since TikTok became a thing and since other platforms started to copy TikTok, if you try to use a popular song on your video, it will automatically be flagged and taken down. So, but what these platforms have now done is they are now paying, it's almost like they are giving you some kind of restricted license to use those sounds. So if you notice, there are times you will use a sound, it will work fine. Then months later, that sound will no longer be in your video. They'll tell you don't have the rights to use the sound, right? So
Yeah.
exactly. So Instagram, TikTok, and all that, they are just following like should I say like a backdoor to just give you temporary or limited access to these sounds. So you can use it within the platform, and usually it's not the full length of the song. So they only give you like 30 seconds, 1 minute at most of the song that you can use and reuse and all that for your content. But if you extract that video now that you did on TikTok and put it on YouTube, it will get flagged for copyright, but it will be fine on TikTok. So let's just say you are still under the copyright, you are still under the copyright terms and agreements when you're using those popular and viral sounds on TikTok. That's because TikTok, in a hidden way, Instagram and Reels and all that, they are giving you a temporary license, a restricted license to use those things for that period of time. And until the owner of the music says you guys should not use it again and all that. But if you notice, most of the time, the owners of those songs actually upload it to be used because they want their songs to go viral. So they start doing challenges, use my sound, use my sound, use my sound, right? So it's kind of, they're trying to find a win-win situation. So they don't want you to use their sound for free and then they don't gain anything. But yeah, they know that the more you use their sound, the more people will know about their sound. So that's kind of like a gray area on this copyright thing. But that doesn't mean that because you use the sound on Instagram and it was not flagged, that you should go ahead and use that sound on YouTube or any other platforms. It will be taken down. So that platform just gives you that limited, restricted license to use that sound, but you don't know. But that's what they are giving you. Okay, so it's different from copyright-free sounds. Copyright-free sounds, you have specific places you can get them. Usually, they are not from popular. They are usually not from popular artists at all. You don't even know who's singing. So yeah, so that's how you know. That's the thing with copyright.
Okay, another
I
question.
have a question.
Sorry.
Okay, and after Mary, the other person can go on. All right.
So for a YouTube video I did, I used an
Yeah.
instrumental of a popular song.
Okay.
Yeah, but it wasn't flagged, there was nothing,
Okay.
and it uploaded successfully. So do you think that one violates the copyright laws? Like, did I have to maybe tag the person, or I don't know? Was that violating any copyright law since it wasn't mentioned and wasn't flagged?
Okay. So yes, in YouTube, what I recommend is if you have so many followers, right, you don't have the liberty to upload something, wait till they flag it, and then go and delete it, right? It will be very unprofessional. So in YouTube, what I recommend is you upload as unlisted or private, right? And give it a few days for them to check it. So usually they check it within a day, sha. So when you upload something as unlisted or private, don't make it public yet until you are sure that there is no copyright claim in the video. So that you were kind of, should I say, you're kind of lucky that that instrumental was not flagged. So the way I've noticed it is, you may even see something like, I think I heard a story where I think it's Pastor Ewan that released a song, if not even Pastor Ewan, maybe Nathan Ebasi, and he just released it a little bit on another platform, right? Then somebody else went to release it on TikTok and made themselves the owner. So it's almost like the first person to release the sound can be the owner. So if somebody else went ahead to use that same instrumental from that popular song you use, they may flag that person and tell them to report to you as the owner of the sound. So it's almost like first come, first serve kind of stuff. So it's just that nobody has claimed that stuff as their licensed sound at that moment. So maybe the owner of the sound did not even bother uploading the instrumental, did not put any license or any claim to it. So that was why it went clean. Now, years later, that song may get flagged if the person attributes it. So I've not really studied so much about licensing, but I believe there is like a platform where people go to license their stuff. I think music producers will know more about this. So license their sounds and license their stuff. And the first person to license it automatically is the owner. So I may sing a song and I don't know much about licensing and I just put it on my WhatsApp status. And somebody that is devious will go and get that sound from my WhatsApp and go and put it on Audio Max, Spotify, and all these things, and they will be getting the revenue from it. I think you know Wayme now. Wayme had that issue too. Some of his trending sounds, right, on his Instagram and TikTok and all that, because he's a music producer. Somebody else went to upload it, and the person was making money from it on Spotify, and the person did not pay him. The person did not acknowledge him. The person, so it became like a legal something, like guy, this is my sound. You are making money from it. And if Wayme tries to upload that sound, they will flag him because there is no way he can prove to TikTok or whatever that I made the sound. Somebody else uploaded this first. Do you understand? So,
Excuse me.
okay,
Sorry, sir.
go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt, please. Those people, are they still breathing?
Those people that upload other
Like, are they
people's
still
sound.
alive?
Yes, now it's money now.
Yes, are they still
It's
breathing?
money. They are breathing fine.
Wow.
Yeah, they are breathing fine. Like,
Those people, any of from
is it?
no, I'm just trying to ask that's where they are from, the people that they took their song.
Okay, I don't know. They're in Nigeria. So, but that's the point. There are wicked
Yeah.
people out there, and some people, this is their business. Some people, this is their business. Like, they just go and put things on Spotify. They'll just see a sound that is trending, they just go and put it on Spotify. So people will go and start streaming it. As people are streaming it, they are making money from it. If the owner does not say, let me just check Spotify and see, and now find their sound, they will never know. They will get away with it. Unless the owner now say, I want to put my sound in Spotify, they'll now put it and see, copyright claim. For my own sound. It's even happened to this man before he got famous. Okay, while he was still blowing, um, Fine Boy We Love Jesus. What's that his name? What's the name of this Fine Boy We Love Jesus?
Ebuka song.
Ebuka songs, yes. One of his sounds that first went viral, so people were saying it's not his own. It was like, the one that sang it now. I will pray. I think that time, if I don't pray, Satan will make mess of me. So I think in one of the platforms like that, I think it was even TikTok, somebody else uploaded it before he did. And his own was taken down for his own sound. So it's a huge thing with music and music producers, this thing with copyright. So when you upload something like that, I think the best way to just check is just put it on YouTube as unlisted and private and watch, give it like a day to see if there is any claim or flag on it before you can use it. Avoid popular stuff and stick with um, stick with copyright free content. So let's look at some of these sites. Any other question before we visit some of these sites and call it a day for tonight?
I have a question.
Okay.
All right, based on copyright. Okay, like a regular person like that cannot get through a person that owns a song and I want to use that song. So like for a copyright agreement and I cannot get through the person. So how will I go about it?
Okay. You cannot access the original person. So you want to use a Lawrence
Yeah,
Oyor sound in your movie, but you know
yes,
you
yes.
can't
I
reach out
can
to Lawrence
reach
Oyor.
out to him. Yes.
Okay. There are actually websites that you can go to buy rights to these songs. I will, let us do the research, right? So I've heard of some, but I can't remember one now. So how to buy rights to a song? Because that's how these guys get paid, right? It's not like they don't want you to use their sound. They just want to be compensated for you for using their sound. That's all. So the sounds are actually there to be used. Like if you watch YouTube videos, you see people using popular sounds. It's not a crime. It's that using it without acknowledging or compensating them is the problem. So there are websites that allow you to buy rights to the sound, and then they give a commission to the original artist. Then you can use it. So sometimes they'll give you limited access or lifetime access. So I think you can buy different kind of access to the sound. So you don't have to meet them. You don't have to go and meet their manager. Please, I want to use your sound. Even if you meet them, there's nothing they can do to help you. They cannot say take, use it. It doesn't work like that. Their words does not count. Okay, take and use my sound. You can still use it and you see the flags. I gave that example of Lawrence Oyor sound. He's in the movie, but his sound could not be used just like that without going through some corner. So there are some websites that will allow you to buy rights to this. So we can do that as an assignment, and if we can find some of them, let us all learn from that. But what I recommend as someone that is just making a video, you don't know if your video is going to make money, you don't know if your video is going to make thousands of views. Why do you have to start buying sounds? Just do simple sounds. And if you know how to create sounds better, yeah, a music producer, just create your own sound from scratch. Like in most movies, they create all their sounds from scratch. Professor Dinley, for example, except for the ones that we download from Advanced, those simple ones, the real music in the song in the movie was created, right? So they'll get someone to sing, get a producer to add instrumentals and all that. So most times people create from scratch or just go to YouTube Audio Library or some other copyright-free places that you can get sounds from. That's what I recommend for beginners. Don't go and start paying for rights for sound. Copyright is not for only sound though. You can also have copyright claim for videos and all that you did not shoot. So like I said, it's like first come first serve. If this video has been uploaded to YouTube already by another channel, you upload, even if it's just 30 seconds of a video, and YouTube is able to say this video is from another channel, you get flagged for it. Now, most times they will not ask you to take it down. They will not ask you to take it down. They will only just maybe tell you that this video cannot be monetized, right? So if you have a YouTube channel, you don't want to have this kind of videos because imagine, the way YouTube works, when you finally blow, people will go and watch your old videos. So imagine you now finally make it on YouTube and people are going back to watch your old videos. Those videos that you will upload that had issues that cannot be monetized, you will be losing money. You'll be angry at yourself because maybe then you will not want to delete them and all that. So, but you can't make money from them. So avoid using other people's stuff without rights. Okay. So let's go over to the website pixels.com. Let's go over to pixels.com. So we will stop after this. We'll stop before 9:30. All right, so this is pixels.com. This is where you can get stock free videos, pictures, and all that for your project. And it's absolutely free. The only thing you're asked to do is to attribute the creator. So look at it, it says free to use. This is it. So that's the license. So this is their license page. They say all photos and videos on Pixels are free to use. Attribution is not even required. Giving credit to the photographer or Pixels is not necessary, but always appreciated, right? You can modify the photos and videos, be creative and edit them as you like. What is not allowed? Identifying people, okay, don't sell unaltered copies, don't imply, don't use as a part of your trademark, okay. So this is a very good site, right? Attribution is not even required in Pixels. So they'll just give you few, this is like just a 32 seconds clip, which you can just click on download and it is saved. So here they allow you to donate to the creator, right? Well, most people don't bother to donate. So usually you want to start by searching. So let's say you want to get someone that is working out, right? So workout routine, for example, you can search that and it begins to give you different clips that you can always use, right? So if you notice, there's a mixture of portrait and landscape clips here, which you can filter based on. So what I recommend anyway is when you're using these platforms, avoid wide shots like this because you put this in your video and this character is not in the rest of the video, it doesn't make sense. So what I would rather do is I'll probably look for close-up shots just for like details that will just enhance the look of my video. Unless you're making like a motivational video where, okay, so like this one, I can't see the face of the person. So it's kind of makes more sense to use something like that. So unless you are looking for doing a motivational video where it doesn't matter what it is. Okay. So this is how you get clips. So like I said, our assignment for today will be to gather some of these stock clips and save them in a drive. If possible, Google Drive, and then let's have it. So download some. Let me download a few like this, right? And just based on different topics and themes, this is just your own. You are just what you are doing is that you are gathering your own archive. You are creating your own collection of helpful resources. So that's pixels. For sounds, let's go to YouTube Audio Library. By the way, in Pixel, you can also filter. So if you want to make sure all your videos are landscape, you just filter to horizontal. So they only give you horizontal videos based on your project, based on how you did your project. If you want large videos, you can select large videos. They only give you high resolution clips. Okay, so it's really amazing. All right, for the software we'll use for the next lesson, we can get DaVinci Resolve. I'll drop the link in the DaVinci Resolve has actually upgraded. I even need to upgrade. I'm currently using 19. So 20 has so much more AI tools that is literally better than CapCut. So they now have automated subtitles like CapCut and all that. So DaVinci Resolve is still one of the best free video editing software. The only limitation you may have is if your laptop is not kind of high, you may not be able to install it. So this is how you use the free download side, and then you just download the 20. Yeah. So this studio side is for, this is paid. This is not free. Anything you see studio, just know that it's not free. When you see public like this is the free section. So the left side is free, the right side is paid. So let's get this one for Windows for me now. Okay, it's gonna ask you to fill a few things and then download. Okay. So I'll pause this download so it doesn't slow down my internet, but it's about 2.7 gig. And that's how you get DaVinci Resolve. You can see it. All right. So YouTube Audio Library, here you can only use this if you have a YouTube channel. And creating a YouTube channel is as simple as having a Gmail account. So it's not really a big deal. So once you have a Gmail account, you have a YouTube account, it will only ask you to create a channel if you don't have, but I already have a channel, so I have access to, there are thousands of songs and it's very easy to download. So let's say I want to filter based on mood. I'll just look for calm, inspirational, and it's going to give me different calm, inspirational songs. If I play them and I like them, I like it. So basically, you can do anything. You want cinematic, you search for cinematic, and you listen to it, and you can download. Usually, when you're listening to sounds like this, you begin to have an idea on the kind of edits you can use it for. This is not bad to use in a movie. Can you guys hear the sound? This one is giving suspense. There's some sounds that are called risers. Sound design is another topic on its own. I'll try and get Dwayne to come and teach us sound design. So Dwayne is the Windows cinematographer, and I think I'll need him to be the one to teach us sound design. So this is definitely giving suspense, like something is about to happen, or an action sequence. Where am I? So the best way to actually gather, if you really want to be a good editor and you want to do this for a long time, if you want to download a lot of these things and categorize them based on where you think you can use them, or you can just use this, you can just categorize them based on cinematic and all this stuff. It will help you and save you a lot of time in your progress. Then let's look at one more website before we round off. It's Envanto Elements. So here is where you literally get everything, but it's not free. In Envanto, you can literally get from templates to copyright-free sounds. Well, they're not copyright-free because you're actually buying into it. So you're actually buying the rights to use the sounds. And then for the AI tools, 11 Labs. So I said there is an AI text-to-speech tool that I like, which is 11 Labs, right? So I can just give it a title, just write something. So let's say, welcome to Blast Creative Academy. And this will just say it, right?
Welcome to Blast Creative Academy.
And then you can change the sounds, you can change the voice and all that stuff. So very nice. And then you can download it once you log in anyway. Advanced Elements is taking its time to load. So these are Advanced Elements, right? So over 7.6 million stock videos, 130,000 video templates, stock photos, royalty-free music, sound effects, template. Literally, this is the creatives. Any creative wants to have access to this kind of library. Okay. It says unlimited downloads, lifetime commercial license. So anything you download is yours to use for life. And that's very cool. So here, usually if you want to enjoy this place, you probably just go for After Effects templates. So they'll just give you some very crazy stuff. So for like graphic designers, see mock-up templates are here. Right, very cool stuff. Saves you a lot of time. Can just be creative without having to waste so much time. So usually the most excellent video editors are not the video editors that spend so much time in the process. No, it's just they just know where to get what. That's why gathering resources is more important. It's very important. So that's why for our assignment, we're going to gather resources from these platforms I just listed, except maybe Avanto. But you can also find more platforms for yourself, right? Get videos, get logos, get icons, get sounds, get music, and put them in a folder and share it with the class. So any question on what we have discussed so far before we end? We have 6 more minutes. If there's no question, I will ask a question. No question. My meeting is still being recorded. So you can use this for like slideshows. You want to create like an intro video. So let's say your YouTube channel, right? You can use this template to create an intro video that you add to your channel. And it's a very simple After Effects animation. All right, in the absence of questions, my question now is, if you are faced with a copyright claim, right? So if you are faced with a copyright claim on your video, what is the best thing to do? Do you delete the video? Do you re-upload? I've already uploaded the video and it already has like 10K views. What do you think is the best approach? By the way, there's no right or wrong answer.
Okay. So my own way, like, okay, you said that at first that there are platforms that actually buy all these copyright everything. Like that.
Yeah.
So I feel the best way is for you to first get the paid one so that they will not really flag you. So I think that's the best way for me. I'm not sure, but that's the right way.
Yes. Yeah, that makes sense. I wish I could even find. So what he's saying is that you can actually just go to, let's see if there's any copyright claim on any of my content that I've uploaded. Okay, so here there's a copyright claim. Let me see. Copyright is, are you serious? This sound, see this sound, so this chill Sakura sound. I've been using this sound for years. This is, and it has never given me a copyright claim. Now it's giving me a copyright claim. So it's saying take action, see details. It said this claim does not restrict your video at the moment. So maybe later in future now, all my video that has this sound will no longer be monetized. So that's very bad. Thank God I haven't checked because this is a sound that I've always been using. So let me see the details and see what they are trying to say. So YouTube is showing me if your video becomes a member of blah blah blah, this claim may affect your ability to monetize the video. This is so they are telling me that no, it's not affecting me right now, but when I start making money from YouTube, I can no longer monetize this video. So that's the problem. That's a big problem. And I've used this sound in a lot of videos. So you see how wicked these guys are. And this was a copyright-free sound as at then. So it's really a big deal. That's why the best thing to do, if you can create your sound, just create something new to avoid this issue. So they're telling me I can replace sound. I don't know how that's possible. Pick audio from audio library to replace the claim sound and resolve the claim. Now, how is YouTube going to remove a sound from a video and replace it? I don't think that's possible because the sound is the background sound in the whole video. You get. You can also trim out the segments. You can erase the sound, or you can dispute the sound. So maybe this is what you can do and buy the and purchase the license. Okay. Fill the form and all that, and all that. So it's a hassle. It's really not necessary. It's really not something you want to stress yourself with. So I'm sure if I scroll down to older videos, I'll still see that there is a claim on anything that I use that sound for. So it's very, very crazy how YouTube works. Copyright claim everywhere.
Sorry, but wait, like if you pay a song for it, is it that they will actually go notify them that you paid for the sound, or how would they know that you actually paid for it?
And if you pay for it, I think that's where you will not come here and say take action, right?
Okay, okay.
You will now dispute it and then maybe put your payment license or something, upload it, and then they will give you, they will move the claim. So that's what I feel is the solution. So copyright is a big deal on YouTube. Like it's you don't want to be a big YouTuber before you start taking it seriously because it will affect you in the long term. So imagine out of all the hundreds, over 100 videos I've uploaded, and if half of them already have copyright claim. So I have to be more careful in future with how I upload. So that's it. These are all sounds that were free when I uploaded them. There was no claim when I uploaded them. Now they've decided to take back the free license from the sound. Is that not wickedness? That's like they are setting the trap for people. All right. That's all. That's all. That's all. Before the next lesson, we are going to be handing out, just to keep this lesson more organized, we're going to be handing out meeting IDs or student IDs, right? So that we can take attendance. So we'll give you a link where you can go and fill attendance for having attended a lesson and all that. Then we encourage you to also follow the physical class because they're also being recorded. So whenever a physical class happens, we also upload them so that you get to follow what we learn because we cannot say exactly the same thing on online and physical, even though we try to touch the same topic every week. So
Yeah, okay, the
tomorrow,
last one,
okay,
that first video that you actually sent, the video about
yes,
the introduction of, yeah, I think it wasn't complete. I think it was 11
no,
minutes or so. But I asked for
yeah,
more
yes, I had
extension.
issue with the sound, yeah, so it wasn't complete. So the sound was cut off in the whole video, so I just put that part. But subsequent videos will upload the whole complete one
All
so you can
right.
follow. Thank you so much for your time. I know it's not easy to create time from your busy schedule, but I'm certain that you will learn a lot. We're going to be getting some guest speakers in other weeks so that we will learn from different variety of persons that are more professional in the field than I am. All right. I think our next class is tomorrow by 8. Let's leave it by 8. I think 7 is too early for most people that are maybe coming from an event or coming from work. So next class is tomorrow from 8 to 9:30. We go again tomorrow. All right.
All right. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Faith. Thank you, Zion. Thank you, Isaiah.